whatever happens to you, it can always get worse, but this is how we flipped our lives around. We've gotten to the bottom, but how to really change your life and not go down that road of depression. So it was just kind of like to inspire people that we all have different situations happen to us, but you can always flip your life upside down.
Welcome to episode number 12 of the 100 Successful Women, a Conversation to Inspire series. This week is also International Women's Week. So I'd like to wish you all women out there happy International Women's Day, which is coming up on this Wednesday. So in today's episode, I am so thrilled to celebrate with you all another successful woman who has another inspiring story to tell. Phuong Nguyen is our guest today. She was introduced by one of my Facebook friends, Anthony Nguyen, who think that her stories needed to be shared with more people. After reading Vu's stories and had our conversation, I totally agreed with Anthony. Vu is such an inspiring woman who shows dedication, courage, and tenacity. Vu was diagnosed with lupus at a very young age of 9. Throughout the year, she has been through many different medical episodes, including stroke and epilepsy. Her doctor even told her parents that she might not be walking or talking again due to the possibility of brain death. With the support of her family and friends and her determination to live a life with regret, she founded Lupus Victoria. She wanted other lupus patients to be supported as well. She and her team from Lupus Victoria not only raised the awareness of the community about lupus, but also helped to raise the money to support Monash Lupus Clinic in the research of lupus medication. So, as you can imagine, Vu has been doing a lot of inspiring work to make such a big impact in the community despite her own physical challenges. In conjunction with the International Women's Week, we all should acknowledge all this wonderful work done by all these amazing women in our community. Be inspired by them and remind us that all of us have something to give in our life. So let's all have a listen to Vu's stories coming up next.
Lupus is a chronic autoimmune condition where your immune system starts to attack self. In lupus, that attack can be on any organ system in the body, which makes it difficult to diagnose. It's a chronic disease. There's no cure. It tends to target women between the ages of 15 and 45.
Selena says she was diagnosed with lupus 5 years ago, and the autoimmune disease attacked her kidneys. She revealed that news about the transplant to her 128 million Instagram followers last month, saying she would soon share her journey over the past several months, and she did just that in our candid and often emotional conversation.
I had arthritis. My kidneys were shutting down. My mentality was just to keep going.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us today. Phuong, should I call you Phuong or should I call you Vu?
Anything, whatever you want. Vu's good.
Okay, yeah, Vu might be easier, right?
Sure.
Yeah, so I'm so grateful that today Vu is joining us today. She's actually joining us from Melbourne, is that right?
Yep, Melbourne, Victoria, yep.
Yeah, she's the founder of Lupus Victoria. So do you want to tell others women out there a little bit about yourself, Vu?
Okay, so I'm 38 this year. And so Lupus Victoria came about because I've had lupus since I was 9 years old. I got diagnosed. And so it's about 29 years this year since. And I've had a couple of complications through the last 28 years, including a stroke that happened 15 years ago now. And hence why when I went back to study again, I thought, I got diagnosed with epilepsy a year after my stroke. So I was in hospital for a year. And then a year later, I thought, they told me that I couldn't walk or talk, or even they said to my family, oh, if she does survive, she'll be 95% brain dead. So my family thought, oh, if she doesn't obviously walk or talk anymore, like especially the brain dead side of things, and with the epilepsy, they said, oh, no stress. So they told me, pretty much you won't be able to walk, study, or even work anymore. So that's why I set up the charity. Yes, the charity is still obviously going now. So
That's Lupus Victoria.
Yep, Lupus Victoria. So it's been about almost 15 years, and 8-9 years since the charity has been founded. So I've been donating to a hospital here in Melbourne. Yeah, so it's been very successful so far.
Okay, so you mentioned about you were diagnosed with lupus when you were 9 years old. I think not many people know about these diseases. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about lupus? What is that about, and how do people get it?
Okay, so it can, like, anyone can get it, but mainly people between 30 years old is the average age, they say. Unfortunately, I was obviously a little kid, so that's not really the average age, or even people in their 50s. Some people in that age bracket, sometimes they can get it too. But it can get diagnosed from anything, really. I was diagnosed through aching joints, things like that, and lupus is very similar to other autoimmune diseases. So it just attacks the whole body. So bones, other symptoms. Mine started off with bones. And so as a little kid, I wasn't able to run, things like that. So I was kind of like, I turned into like an old grandma, walking wise. My bones kind of just disintegrated, like I wasn't able to do much at all.
Wow, so it's not something, is that kind of in the gene, or is a history in the family? Not really?
It can be. I think very small percentage can be. Unfortunately for me, I don't know anyone in my family that has it. But then again, it could be from grandparents. So it might have been. Yeah.
Wow. So what's life for you after being diagnosed with lupus?
Well, at the moment, I'm okay. But like I said, you get things like joint pain. Very small. It's not very small, but a percentage of us have organ problems. In my case, it attacks my kidneys. It can attack any type of organ. Like at my stage, it's kind of attacked most of my organs. So like I said, I had my stroke, so I kind of went up to my brain, then my heart. It started with the kidneys. So it's kind of going around my body at the moment. But like within the support group that we made through this charity, a lot of the women in there, so there is a small percentage of men, very small, maybe like 10-15%. All the people in there have a lot of complications. It's not a disease that it's different for every single person. So not one of us is the same.
So for yourself, you had this since 9 years old, and then in between 9 years old, I saw that you went to uni as well. You basically, your life hasn't been much different from others.
Yeah, well, it took me 10 years to graduate with a bachelor's. So it was a lot more complicated than the average girl, I guess. I mean, it usually takes 3 years, right, for an average person to graduate with a bachelor's. But it took me 9 years. Wow. I made it. Yeah.
Wow, you're very dedicated and you're persistent despite your challenges. So how did you overcome these challenges and having been diagnosed with the disease, and then to live an everyday life?
It's very hard, but I am very lucky. I have a very supportive family and friends. So it obviously pushes you to keep trying. And through, things like when you've had a stroke and whatnot, and you go through rehab, you have things like an occupational therapist. So they make you write down your goals. So one of my goals was to finish uni even after 9 years. Obviously, one of my first goals was to learn how to walk again. That took about 6 months in a wheelchair, and to start doing those, tick off those small goals. Yeah, just take it one thing at a time, so that you always have a goal to work towards.
Wow, that's very important for people to have surroundings support that help them to reach their goals. And then I love that you're saying that you have a goals that you walk through, and you see that there's something that you wanted. It's really important for you to keep going.
Yeah, you need that, because I think that otherwise you fall a bit into depression. And even though some people fall into it, that's okay. Major changes like that obviously make you like go towards that depression stage. But I think, like I said, the family, friends support, it helped me quite a lot. And ticking up those goals, it kind of really made me have a very different vision towards what I want to do in the future.
So you were saying that you started Lupus Victoria after you experienced a stroke, and then you were in the rehab?
I'm not in rehab at the moment, but I'm still learning how to walk now. I don't quite walk straight, like I'm walking, so thank God for that, but I don't quite step straight. So even now, 15 years later, I'm still in rehab, physiotherapy, learning how to walk properly. So I mean, that might be going on for a while, but hopefully I'll get there one day. And my goal for rehab, physiotherapy, is to learn how to run one day. So that's all I want to do.
Wow, that's amazing. You've got a very inspiring stories, because it's very important for you to have something to look forward to, because like you say, some people might get into depression, they might straight away get into that victim mentality, and look at how much thing that you have been doing.
Like I said, the support after Lupus Victoria was made and formed, I set up Lupus Victoria support group, and it's like now there's about almost 700 people in there. But people come in and they ask for advice. Every single person is different with lupus. It attacks different body parts. It's very sad, because a lot of people don't have that support. And because lupus attacks different body parts, not everyone's the same, like I said. So the group is there for support, but always I say to them that always get professional advice. We're just here to help each other.
So when you set up Lupus Victoria, is that something that you started by yourself, or is there someone who motivate you to set that organization up?
So when I was in uni, so I actually finished uni, the bachelor's, and then after I was told by my family, no, you can't work. The uni sent me a postgrad email saying, would you like to go on with school, do your postgrad? And so I decided to do that. And during that course, one of the last subjects was entrepreneurship. That was a subject that kind of brought to my head, if I want to start a business, so start a charity, might as well start a charity if I can't work full time. And during the charity, I could do it part-time or, casually through the year. And that was one subject that made me start Lupus Victoria. Now, there's about 6 people on the board, so it's not just me by myself. There's 6 of us that are doing events.
Wow. Well, that's so inspiring, because it's part of you wanting to help people, and at the same time you started the entrepreneurship journey from there as well. So it is every businesses, any organization, there will be challenges when you are a startup. So what are the few challenges that you face when you studying this Lupus Victoria?
Well, one of our main goals was to find a new medication. It's been 60 years since a brand new medication has come out. So can you imagine 60 years of people being on the same medications? And all the medications that are out there, they work to some point. But because there's so many, not everyone fits the same medication. So it's a bit of a trial and error with medication. Like I said, we're all different. So some medications might not work for one person. So 60 years since this brand new medication, and late last year, they finally found a new medication from the hospital that I'm at right now. So I believe that the money that we've given them has helped them develop this new medication.
Wow. So what are, aside from find the goal, you were saying that the goals is to maybe funding for research to find a medication. So is there any other challenges that you face along the way?
I guess, like I said, the support out there. 700 people in the group, and the thing is, because I'm only in Victoria, it's so hard to travel because Victoria is pretty massive, like the country area. So right now, I might have about 4 meetups a year, but they're like, north, south, east, and west. But this is like kind of closer, not all the way, like 2-3 hours away. So unfortunately, some of the people have to travel. But this year, I'm going to try and go up to the country up. I'm not sure where it is, but Langwarrin or something, or up to that way. So I might have to do a 2-hour travel up there. I guess a lot of the ladies they haven't come to be able to come down towards kind of inner. So the challenge is really trying to meet up with the, like if you want support to really meet up with as many people as they can. I'm fine with the ladies organizing the meetups, and I'll try and get there. And the good thing about Australia, Australia in general, is that we have such a good medical system. I've had people tell me about other countries, and they didn't have the support medically, like support system, like in terms of funding. Yeah, we gave the trial. So even though we found the medication here in Victoria, we tried it first in America and the UK. They only chose 2 people in this country, and chose thousands of people in the UK and USA. And it wasn't until they gave the tick of approval, yeah, it's working, then they brought the medication back here. But when they first trialed it in America and they gave it the yes, they were charging people $1,400 a month to take this medication.
In Australia?
And when they in the USA.
Okay.
That means that it's not been a problem for me, because when they gave the tick of approval in Australia, it's only going to cost us $30 a month. Not really a problem, but it just kind of breaks my heart that, like, for other countries that it's costing them that much. But I'm very happy that Australia has tipped off for $30 a month. So it was a great news. Like, it's been released now in Australia, because I gave the government kind of told us to sign forms over here to let the government know that lupus is very big. It's the biggest autoimmune disease in Australia, more than MS, more than fibro, but no one knows what lupus is. So I had to get all the ticks from people in our support group to say, hey, here we are. We're a big autoimmune disease, and that the people in Australia knows that we have like 200,000-300,000 people with this disease in Australia. That's what I'm trying to get people to know what lupus is.
Wow. It's amazing that the work that you have done, and then it's like to help more people. And then without you guys, probably the awareness wasn't going to be there. And then the funding probably is something that is the funding for the research is not going to happen that quickly as well. Thank you so much for what you have done for others out there, Vu.
I'm just trying.
Yeah. So you were saying that that treatment now is available for others patient now, and they can just easily get it within Australia.
It's available. Obviously, when you're diagnosed with lupus, you have to have done. But it takes so long to diagnose people with lupus, because there's a lot of other autoimmune diseases that cross over with each other. So when I got diagnosed, it was very easy back then. 29 years ago. But right now, to get diagnosed, it takes a very long time because, like I said, there's other autoimmune diseases that kind of cross over with each other. And so like some of the women in the group, like a couple of men in there too, it takes them years to get diagnosed. Yeah, so some of the ladies in there, and a couple of men, it's been taking them years because lupus might cross over with another disease. And so it's all about blood tests and all different things like I said, they trial one medication. If it doesn't work, you come back 3 months later and they'll test for another medication. So you might be taking 2 or 3 at once. And if that doesn't work, they'll try you another one. But like it just takes a long time to get the diagnosis.
Wow. It's not as easy as recognized like before because of the different variation nowadays. So what's motivate you nowadays? Because you obviously still putting a lot of time and effort in Lupus Victoria, and then I see a lot of great charity event that you run as well. So what motivates you nowadays to like keep going?
I guess like seeing the support group run, and like I said, it breaks my heart to see a lot of these people really suffering from the disease itself. I think I heard a couple of people that are these are people, they only know what lupus is when, you know, the famous people in the world get lupus, they get diagnosed. That's when people know what lupus is. So unfortunately, it takes people like Seal the singer, Selena Gomez, like people like that to know, they have lupus. And that's what people know, lupus, but they know what it is, but they still don't know like the symptoms and stuff like that. So it motivates me when I see the people in the group that have no support. And so you still want to have the support there, but it motivates me because, like I said, America's making that one medication cost $1,400. And here we're charging you $30 a month. You still want to keep going because the medication is still not a cure. We might be a long way off a cure still. And it's gonna keep pushing until we find that cure. It might take a long time, but every new medication will help a different symptom. So until it's perfectly well for one person, until you're pain-free, that will keep you pushing on to different, better medications and stuff like that.
Wow, that's true. That's once you will keep working until probably there is one medication that is cure this lupus altogether. Yes, there will be like maybe in the future because of the technologies and science that keep advancing nowadays. So I know that you also speak in events as well to motivate others.
I try.
Yeah, so I know that it is very important because from your stories is very inspiring for others because despite your challenges, despite your diseases, you still living bubbly and then you help more people as well. I love that. So how can one be back on the feet and be strong again after challenges? It can be any challenges in life. It's not necessarily the disease. There are different challenges that can hit people and they can fall down to the rock bottom. So how can they maybe stand up on their feet again?
So maybe like less than 5 years ago, I did a seminar and there was a couple people that I just chose like maybe 3 or 4 different people that I knew myself. But it wasn't just someone with lupus. They all had different situations. So I chose one man that had a passing of his wife and child, all in 2 years. A lady, another friend that I knew who had a restaurant burned down overnight and her start over again. I had another friend that was almost an Olympian. Her life just flipped over. She had a car accident and kind of almost broke her spine. And imagine these people having their lives, flip over all in, one period of time. So it was called an Inspire Me seminar. And what I tried to do is have people come and for us to inspire people, tell them a story about ourselves and how to change our lives. So it's kind of a motivational seminar to tell people, whatever happens to you, it can always get worse. But this is how we flipped our lives around. We've gotten to the bottom, but how to really change your life and not go down that road of depression. So it was just kind of like to inspire people that we all have different situations happen to us, but you can always flip your life down upside down. Just things like that, different stories.
So was that one of the events that inspired you to flip your stories as well, or there are more to that?
Yeah, like I said, it was about maybe less than 5 years ago. I wanted to do like inspirational seminar to I still want to keep going, but like I said, it was 5 years ago, like I'll probably keep going. A lot of people that came in to buy tickets, they wanted us to go up throughout Australia, but I was just doing it. I only did the one here in Melbourne, Victoria, but maybe in the future, like I can travel all around Australia and do things like that.
Yeah, it is very important for us to remind ourselves that even though there are challenges of obstacles that we have in life, but there are people who been there, done it, and they changed their life 365 as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's your plan coming up next?
Right now, I'm working on it's kind of like because I'm working towards being a counselor right now. I finished uni this year, another course, but it's going towards being a counselor. But at the moment, because I don't have the lupus background of myself knowing about lupus, I'm mainly working on kind of counseling people with lupus. So that's my main focus for now. It's still a counseling degree, but I could, in the future, I could possibly work on other people, but I want to counsel people with maybe lupus for now. I might expand to, autoimmune diseases in the future, but that's my goal right now, and that will happen in the next couple of years.
So your main focus is the lupus, the people with lupus, and then to give them counseling so that they can have the knowledge and they have the tools to get over their challenges.
Right now, for now, only because I've had the experience. But when you kind of do these degrees, and then you feel that going to like a diploma, I think more like mental health really, and then you can expand on to people with health challenges. So only because I had this experience of lupus, but then it might expand to people with health problems. In the future. So I might become a course. I'm trying to expand into a course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to make it into a program for them to can be done during their own pace of time as well. Yeah.
So it's going to be an online course, so people can do that from home. And obviously they'll have me come online, a couple of times a week, and obviously it's all face to face. So, I'm bringing in other people that help with different types of therapy. So for example, there's EFT therapy, root cause therapy, meditation, things like that. These are not, like I said, these are not cures, but they're there for you to try for yourself.
I see. So it's a different kind of programs for people, especially those who diagnosed with lupus, because it's very important for them to have the resources where they can refer to. Yeah, that's very important, because not, like you say, it is a disease that's not many people are knowing it. And I think with the support that you are offering them, they can feel more motivated as well.
I'll part of the counseling side of things, but like I said, come on a couple of times a week to kind of do that. That's the support group already talking to each other. And obviously that's my side. But then have these experts come in, and if you want to try, their type of therapies, you come on, try it. It's available for them. And then you've got these other therapies. If one works for them, I can bring them on even more. But, it all varies to what works for them.
Okay. Wow. So that's the plan for you in the coming future. So at the moment, with your charity organization, and obviously you got around 700 people in the whole charity. So what does your days looks like now for yourself?
Well, at the moment, I'm still building up the course, but like I said, because I'm still in school right now, so I'll be finished this year with the counselling. It's called social science degree. So I finished that up in June. So I'm studying still. So that's me every single day right now. And right now, with my board, so there's, like I said, there's 6 people on my charity board. Like next week, we're going to have a meeting next week because we've got to do things for the charity this year. Like at the end of this year, we've got a golf tournament. So at the moment, that's the biggest tournament that we run every year. Hopefully, I want to talk to them about doing more dinners because I think for like my age group, so like I said, in the 30s, well, I want to do like age. It could be any age group really. The dinners work really well with doesn't matter what age group really, but the dinners work a bit better than an older generation. The golf dates work really well for the older generation. So I want to have two events a year.
I did see that you have that charity masquerade dinner as well.
No, we haven't had one for the last 2-3 years because of COVID. So very good that the golf courses haven't been closed.
Okay.
It hasn't affected it. We've had 4 golf days. Golf courses haven't been affected by COVID. They're still open, but dinners have. So functions where you're standing next to each other, they've been affected. So we haven't been able to have dinners past 4 years.
Okay. So you're going to have more dinners coming up?
Hopefully, well, that's what I want to discuss. Because a lot of the function rooms haven't been open. Haven't been open for us to organise the dinners. So like I want to discuss maybe having one this year or even next year.
So wow, you're not only having your dedication and your responsibilities in the charity, have to have this meeting with the board of directors, but also you are still a student yourself. That must be a busy days for you.
Yeah, well, like I said, I finished this year, so get that out. But I still have to do a diploma. So once you finish the degree, unfortunately, you're still going to do a diploma of counselling to get into counselling. So it's a bit of a long road.
Wow, that's amazing. The things that you are doing. So you are one great example of that. You can do a lot of things, right? Yeah, despite the challenges that you have, and never be saying that, oh, there's a lot of things that I can't do because of this, because of that. But see that you've done so many amazing things out there.
Can't give up. You got to have you don't want to feel sorry for yourself. Does that make sense? That's okay if you do, because you've gone through challenges. I'm not saying you can't do that, but you need a plan to keep going. Keeps your brain functioning. It keeps your mindset. That's a better word for it. Your mindset. Change your mindset to more positivity. It's the important thing. Yeah. If you're always in a negative mindset, then, I guess everything goes down from there. You got to keep everything positive. Yeah.
You mentioned about positive and negative. So what's your tips or what is your secrets to shift things from negative to positive?
Well, learning through the social science degree, it's actually not just easy. It's not easy to do. Like through chemical, it's all proven. When you have a negative mindset, you're actually releasing a cortisol through your body, and that starts attacking your body when you're always in a negative mind frame. But when you're positive, it actually releases endorphins. So it actually not heals, that's the wrong word. So it actually helps with your body, So like I said, there's always a medical explanation for being positive. Like there's things you can do, like always meditate in the morning, or you get like things like you read through quotes and things like that. You find people that are always going to give you things that create positivity. It's something like what you're doing, go through things, like go to YouTube and find some things like you do and like listen to their stories. Listen to the stories, like it creates that positivity.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You're doing those things. Yeah.
Love that. I love that. It's always important because everything in our mindset is actually affecting a lot of our body, especially our cells as well. That's great tips that you have there, Vu. And then, like you say, it is very important for us to have that positive mindset. So, what's your advice for people who are probably suffering some kind of diseases out there? What are the advices that you can give to them?
It's very hard because I keep going. You know, I said my quote was, things can always get worse. It's a very hard, it's hard to really get things in, but I always say things can always get worse because I believe, you know, I'm from Vietnam, but if I was still in Vietnam right now, I think I'd be long gone. We're so lucky to be in Australia, right? But things can always get worse. That happened to me, not since 9 years old till 38 this year. Things always got worse. You know, I was always up and down with lupus. So it might have got better, but then I had something else wrong with me. Things can always get worse. You know, you can't compare yourself. Someone out there is always worse off than you. You know, so you know, I help myself by always saying something. I'm down right now, but there's someone out there always worse off. That's how I keep my positivity.
So to look at yourself as a better version comparing to others. So it is, can I probably summarize that into to have a gratitude attitude?
Yeah, that's a better explanation. Thank you.
Yeah, to be grateful at where you are, because there are a lot of people who probably suffering out there. And like you say, you are glad that you are in Australia instead of in another country. Probably will not be having a better medication or medical supports for you.
System, yeah, exactly.
That's so important for us to be grateful that for our everyday life. It's not only for with the disease or no, but to see things in a different perspective, and that's create positivity as well.
Yeah, thanks for redoing that. That's exactly what I want to say. You stole the words out of my mouth.
And what's the advice that you can give to families? Because as you're saying, it is yourself that is can create that positivity for yourself. But as a family members, probably they will see things in a different perspective. But you are quite fortunate that your family is there to support you, and they might be able to be seeing things more positive as well. So for those other family members of patients or survivors, what are your advice for the families to support them as well?
Yeah, it's very hard. Like I really think that do your research. Like with me, it's just lupus, right? I mean, sorry, I actually have epilepsy too now. But really, I mean, support that person as much as you can, and do your research on what they have, because if you don't understand it, they're usually critical of what, you know, you always think that, oh, they only have just this, but because, like, just in terms of lupus, like, because it always attacks everything, you don't understand it as much. But if someone else has something else, do your research and try and understand where that person is coming from, why they think this way, because it's not just about like the mental, it's the physical as well. So the way some of us might not be over exaggerating the pain, you understand we're not on all this medication because we want to be. We have to be on this medication. So really understand all the physical stuff that's going on in one's body. And that brings out all the mental stuff that's, how they feel. That's why the pain brings out how they're thinking, their mindset. Some people might be exaggerating because they need that love and care. Give it to them. It's changed that some people have been flipped upside down. Their words have just been flipped right upside down. So, really give them that love and care as much as you can.
Yeah, give them the love and care. And another thing you were saying that something that the previous guest was mentioning, knowledge is power, because that guest is she is the Paralympian. I'm not sure you watched that video of her. She did mention about knowledge is power, because instead of being in that scared and then worried too much, and then research and know what is that really about. And I think it's very important for family members and friends to know what exactly it is. Yeah.
She's right. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Vu. So how can others out there, if they are thinking to contribute or helping with Lupus Victoria, what can they do?
Okay, so I mean, I've got a website name. I don't know where I can put it, but like we contribute all our with Lupus Victoria. We don't, because it's just small charity. So lots of big charities, they have a big team, so they have to pay themselves, right? The marketing team. So we donate 95% of our money to the hospital. We only keep a little bit there because we need to pay for insurance, the website, things like that. So none of us, we're all volunteers. So I don't know where I can put it, but I can give you the hospital details. So for you to donate your money into there, and that way you get a receipt back. You know, it'll come back to you. So I don't know where to put it, but I'll give you the hospital link.
Yeah,
so
you can give it to include it in the video later. And is that they can donate directly to the hospital rather than to Lupus Victoria?
Yeah, that's better, because like I said, we take like a 5% of that to pay for our like website. You know, just things like you need to keep the charity running. But the way you donate to the hospital is 100% to the hospital. But like I said, we donate everything to the hospital anyways. But like I said, that little bit that we need. But like I said, we're all volunteers, so we don't pay ourselves. If you want to keep us running so that we can make another event, then up to you. Yeah, just donate everything to the hospital.
Well, so all the events that you guys are running, because I did see that it is successfully raised quite a lot of money, and that's all donated to the hospital for the research.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing that you guys are doing. And yeah, I really love what you are doing. And then thank you so much for what you have done for all the lupus the patient out there. It is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, we try. Yeah, in the group, everyone else they're all volunteers, but they don't have lupus. I'm the only one with lupus. So that's why I run the support groups. They do all the other things, like the marketing and the event organizing. Yeah.
So others people who are you guys still looking for volunteers for Lupus Victoria?
Yeah, so not a lot, but some people message the support group page asking if they could volunteer. The volunteers come from when we have the events. We ask people to volunteer to help run the day, or sometimes we haven't had one for a couple of years because of COVID. But we do things like Bunnings barbecues, you know.
Yeah.
So sometimes people come there to help with the day. But like I said, we haven't had one for a couple of years because they closed that day down, like the sausages and stuff like that, down for the past couple of years. But the events that we have, the dinner events, like we have had people help with those days. So those days are open for, if we do another dinner this year or next year, yeah, we're open to volunteers. Yeah.
If there are people out there who are wanting to become a volunteer for Lupus Victoria, they can look for you directly, or they can go to your website.
Yeah, I guess go to the website and write an email to us, and we'll let you know when the next event is. Like I said, hopefully this year, like I said, the only thing we've planned this year is the golf day. That golf day is a bit hard to run because it's all the way in near the peninsula. So it's pretty far to get to. But usually the golf day is run by the golf course.
So there's people there doing the
but it's the dinners that they usually like selling at raffles and stuff like that. Usually need volunteers. Yeah.
All right, then. Yeah, whoever wanted to volunteer for Lupus Victoria, we will include the link to the website later on the video. So yeah, obviously, Vu, you are one amazing woman that help with more people out there, and then you have a mission, and then you never give up on the things that you face in your life. So before we wrap up our conversation today, I really appreciate your time with us, Phu. So what is your last piece of advice for all the women out there?
Really, well, with lupus in general, just never give up. And if you want to search for our group, I'll give you the link to the support group too. If you have questions, the support groups are there. There's, like I said to you, there's 700 people in there. And like I said to you before, not every person is the same. So hopefully you go in there and ask your question. And I'm pretty sure that someone has an answer to your question or have felt those things happen to them. But like I said to you, if there's any medical advice in terms of medication, go and see your doctor. We are not doctors in this group. Yeah, come in, like we are a very good support group.
Wow. Okay.
Like I said, if there's something we can't answer, like we will refer you to, your doctors. Feel free. I'll give you that link to our group.
Thank you so much for your time, Phu. It's really, I was so amazed with your stories and what you have done for all the people out there. And yeah, so before we finish our conversation, is there anything that you would like me to ask, but I haven't asked yet?
Well, not really. So I can give you a link to, like, obviously the support group, and if they want to get, like, obviously talk to me, find me in the support group too, and then I might be able to add you, and then we can talk about other things like the seminars, things like that, other events we'll have. Like I said, I haven't organized one in a while. If you want to, I will do one. Right, I can't travel really right now because of my epilepsy. But if you ever want to get in contact with me, and I'll organize other things like the seminar, I'll let you know. They'll keep going. They'll happen eventually. I just can't really fly right now because of the epilepsy. So I can only be Melbourne bound. Yeah.
Okay.
It's very hard.
It is good that because we are in a technology world now, we can do things online, and I think that you will be able to serve people in other states of Australia as well, even in Sydney as well. And it's a lovely of technology. And thank you so much for your time with us, Phu, and I really appreciate that. And we learned some information about lupus, and then know what's Lupus Victoria about.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I really love that. And we will follow what you're doing, and maybe to reach out to more people to know more about this disease, which not many people are talking about.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. I'll see you next time, Phu.
Bye.
Bye.